Get started. I'm going to introduce Sheriff Bobby Weber is going to come up and welcome you from the Ascension Parish Chamber. Sheriff.
Thank you. Thank you, Chief. And on behalf of the Ascension Parish Sheriff's Office and the Chamber of Commerce, the Board of Directors, which I serve on, we wanted to welcome you here today. And it's a great way to start a Tuesday morning when you can come here and see the progress that has been made in District 3 of the Fire Service and the Prairieville Fire Department. I've been here a long time. I've been working with the Sheriff's Office for 34 years, and we have seen the growth in this area, no doubt, and we have seen the growth in our fire service and our law enforcement service and our first responder service. Ascension Parish has a lot to be proud of. You know, you can travel around the country and you will often find where first responders don't always get along with each other. You know, fire has something against police, police have something against fire, and then sometimes you have issues with EMS. That has not been the problem here in Ascension Parish. It has not. We have built and forged relationships in so many ways. I always tell people that our thin blue line and the fire department's thin red line have been woven together, never to be separated. And that's what you expect, and that's what our citizens and our community expect. We're here today to dedicate this unbelievable fire training center. It's one that I've seen the model of in other places, in other states, and we're envious of it. And to see them here in Ascension Parish now just shows the growth and shows the dedication of folks like Chief Stewart and the staff of Prairieville Fire Department and the board of Prairieville Fire that just take it very, very seriously and always want to take it to the next level. So I'm very proud to be here today representing the Sheriff's Office. I'm very proud to represent our chamber, and I'm so very proud to call the fire service and the EMS service great friends of the Sheriff's Office, and we will always be together. And it's just amazing that how some of our dispatchers in the Sheriff's Office, some of our patrolmen in the Sheriff's Office are also firemen, also volunteer EMS workers, and it just meshes together really good. And I do believe that we are a model for the state. I think we are a model for the nation. And to see the progress being made. Years ago, we did a lot with our training center, and the fire department has took it to the next level, not only in Prairieville, but across Ascension Parish. And you do that by having solid leadership. Mark will not take a lot of credit for it, but he provides this leadership, the board provides leadership, and he has a wonderful staff here that are dedicated to what they do. So without further ado, I'd like to turn it back over to Chief Mark Stewart.
Thank you. Again, thank you all for coming out this morning. We told somebody inside a little earlier, the next time we do one of these will be for our training room addition on the other end of our administrative building. We've outgrown our conference room a long time ago, and so we're going to be building a full-size training room, be able to be divided in two different sides. Maybe even if there's some community things that need to take place, we'll get back to where we have room for some of that to happen. So I promise you, next time we do one of these, we'll be able to do it inside, and we'll have air conditioning running. So, as we dedicate that training room. So thank you for coming and bearing with us through the heat. Our Ladies Auxiliary for Prairieville Volunteer Fire Department, who've been going strong for many, many years. And there's not as many of them as there used to be, but they're still here, they're still active. And generally when we've built new fire stations over the past few years, the Ladies Auxiliary has taken some of their funds they've raised over the years and helped us furnish the fire station. So most of the furnishings, if you ever go in any of our fire stations, was courtesy of the Prairieville Ladies Auxiliary. So we thank them very much. Wouldn't be complete without thanking the volunteers from Prairieville Fire Department and also the employees for Ascension Parish Fire District 3. As Sheriff Weber and I were talking a little earlier, you know, as I said, I'm fortunate I get to stand in front of the people and talk and generally if the news comes around, I'm the one that gets to get on the news or make the article in the newspaper and rah-rah and Mark's heading this thing, but I can tell you it's all about the people that are here. I just get to get the credit and kind of steer the reins every now and then, but we've got fantastic people here from my administrative staff to the employees here, the firefighters, EMTs, the ones that interact with you when they make the calls. They're the ones that make this place happen. And again, we've got wonderful guidance from our fire board and board of commissioners, excellent people, a nice sampling from the community around here, and they do a wonderful job of steering this ship, being fiscally responsible with the taxpayers' money. And so we always know with them overseeing things, we're always making sure we're doing the right thing here in Fire District 3. A few other people I wanted to thank real quickly. Mr. Lloyd Dubuisson and Kathy from Dubuisson Associates Insurance. They're providing the jambalaya today. Quality Concrete, Robbie from Quality Concrete, they provided us with a lot of assistance with the concrete for our foundation and the parking area over there for our drill tower. And Austin Fire Systems, Jason, Russell, and Richie, again, donated some time, equipment, and you know, in these days, time is almost always as valuable or more valuable than even equipment. So thank you guys very much for assisting us in this project. It was definitely a big help. Alan Morris, Roland Jackson, I know Alan is here today, but again, with the fire hydrant out there, some of the other work that went on around that drill tower, Alan and his crews from Parish Water were a tremendous asset and made a lot of things happen that otherwise we wasn't quite sure how they were going to happen. And Process Pumps and Equipment, Jimmy from Process Pumps, he provided a tremendous amount. I forget how many it was, but the concrete wire mesh mats he had available, and he donated them to us for that project over there, which is what made all the concrete for the parking area take place and be appropriate strength and thickness and all of that for what we need to do over there. I also saw Mr. David Commander, one of our board members I mentioned, was able to just show up, so thank you, David, for being here. Hot and unbearable, make it short and sweet. This is just another little achievement, a little check mark in the list of things we wanted to accomplish at Fire District 3. What we've done in the past since we've been here is we've used neighboring departments, and especially St. George. We have a couple of members, Timmy Walters and Matt Ard from St. George. We've done a lot of training with them, and they have a burn building up in Baton Rouge, and we go train with them at that burn building. But the problem is we're limited. I can only send so many people out at a time to make sure we provide coverage here, so we don't quite get the full effect of all of our people training together. Even though it's a wonderful asset and they've been a tremendous asset to us ever since we've started, it was time to say, you know, same thing with Gonzales. Gonzales has a burn building, but again, we got to go out of our area to use it and train with them. So this has been something that's been on the back burner and the front burner for a while. I want to thank the governor's office and Rick Weber, our OEP director in Ascension Parish. We were able to work this through where we could buy this tower off of the government contract, which generally is not allowed in Louisiana unless it meets certain criteria. And we were able to have this meet that criteria. So this tower will be open to our other fire departments. Fire District 1 has people here today. It's open for anybody that may need it. But the primary thing is our people now. We can bring everybody here that's on shift in a day, come over here and start training together at crews that are going to work together on fires and other incidents that take place in our area. And that way they're still here. So if we have calls for service that come in, we're still close and we're able to answer those calls in a timely fashion. So as I said, as we've grown, we have approximately 50 full-time people now. 13 years ago, we had probably the person that's here to keep me straight. I don't know what she thinks about all that, but my secretary, Julie Phillips, Julie and I were the first two here just 13 years ago, and as far as full-timers. And so we've transitioned quite a bit over that time frame. A lot of growth still to go. We're still kind of just trying to hold our own with the growth around here. So we're continuing. We'll be hiring some more people this year, and we'll continue to grow. We have another station or two planned in the future. And as I mentioned earlier, our next project will be add a training classroom on the other end of our administrative building. We've gotten the size now where we can no longer stuff all the people on even one shift to come into our conference room and do training. So it's time to continue to grow. Thank you for all the citizens in our area that support us with the tax base, for helping us grow, continuing to keep us growing and support us. And our main thing is to make sure every day when we go out there that we're providing top-notch service for those we protect, for those of us that expect that out of us. And I think our people do a wonderful job of that, and we're going to continue on. Things like this training tower burn building will allow us to continue to train, become more proficient in doing our jobs, and what we expect to see out there is even a better service into the end user, our customer out there, the citizens of Ascension Parish, and especially the Fire District 3 area. So again, thank you all so much. This tower, again, as you get a chance today, I know it's hot, but when you go over there, if you want to walk through and take a little opportunity to see some of the things, we'll have a couple of people over there that can maybe explain a few of the things that this tower will allow us to do. There may be a better one out there. I don't know where it's located at, but this one right here has many different things that allow us almost anything we need to do with a fire. We can practice it and we can train it right here in this burn building. That includes lighting and burning live fires in that building as well. So we've done a little bit. We had to season the insulation panels, in the building, but we didn't want to mess it up too bad before we were able to do the ribbon cutting. So once we finish this up today, then it'll be on. They'll be out there doing some serious training and be smoking it up. And so Gary, those are the rest of you around here, don't worry, we're not going to smoke your houses and stuff or burn them down. We'll keep it all right here. So again, thank you, each of you. Mr. Parish President, Kenny, anything you'd like to say?
Thank you, Mark. I just want to say how great of a day it is in Ascension Parish. The people of Prairieville put their money where their mouth was. Mr. Walter Leffridge led the crew to get the tax passed. And as you can see, they're spending the money like they said they were. So they're doing a great job. I think they're growing almost as fast as Prairieville. But appreciate each and every one of you for Fire District 3 for what y'all do for the Ascension Parish. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. President, and Mr. Walter, the chairman of our board. Would you like to come say a few words? As Parish President said, Mr. Walter was firebrand, our leader, and back when we created Fire District 3, when that happened, and then as the first tax and stuff was passed, Mr. Walter was the champion out there working on those ideas and making that happen. So, Mr. Walter.
Thank you very much. I just wanted to make one comment, the fact that by having these facilities that we have now, we're going to have better trained first responders that's going to be coming to the disaster and when it happens. They're trained. In fact, with Mark, I got to compliment Mark for doing a great job. He's one very, very strict in training. He believes that safety of these firemen that's going out taking their lives in their hand is very important, that they are protected and they protect each other. So the training program here that we have is state of the art. And I want to thank all the firemen, and of course, they're as anxious to have this available as we are. And it's great that we've got so many good firemen. We've got, like I say, like Mark said, about 50 full-time firemen. And we have a number of contract firemen also that comes in and fills in from Gonzales primarily and St. George Fire Department. So in this parish here, in this area here, we're doing our very best. And like I say, we want to be diligent with the dollars that you're paying. So we want to be sure that this money is spent in the right way to give you the best service that we possibly can. And I will put this department against any. They've done a great job, and we thank y'all, Mark, and thank you, the firemen, because they're what makes this go. It's the fire department, the firemen. So thank y'all for coming, and thank y'all for your support of this fire department.
Thank you, Mr. Walter. Again, Mr. Walter and the rest of the board are really the backbone of everything, you know, the responsibility for the monies, how we operate and that stuff. So that helps us a whole lot out here on the end that we work, the operations end. They really make that happen. So while you're here today, just to tell you a little bit real quickly, our people that we have that work here, we're trained in not only firefighting, vehicle extrication, and this isn't to make fun of anybody, but you know, if you drive around the streets out here in Ascension Parish, you've probably seen a vehicle accident or two. They keep us pretty busy with that. So a lot of times with the interstate and all that, we have some major accidents. So our people are trained to extricate people out of cars. We do first response. All of our full-time employees are EMT basics. Most of our contract employees are also EMT basics. Most of our volunteers are, so we provide first grade, we believe, medical care out there. They're trained in firefighting, vehicle extrication. We have people trained in rope rescue, confined space rescue with ropes. We also have recently, over the last few years, with some grant money help, we've trained almost about half of our department in swiftwater, floodwater rescue. So as we know, we saw that in 2016 and a few other times here in Ascension Parish. Very critical element for our people to be prepared and assist our citizens in that effort when floods and swift water, that type of stuff happens. Here, people say, well, we don't have any swift water around here. Well, in 2016, if you'd have been out there on Bayou Manchac and Amen River with us, yeah, we got some swift water around here. So again, we're trying to be well-rounded. We want to be able to handle everything that a citizen would call us for, and that's everything from the cat in the tree to whatever else. You know, dad fell down and needs help getting up, you know, whatever it might be, that's what we're here for. And so while you're here today, before you have to leave, or if you have a few minutes, you look at the new training tower, but you can walk around and see some of our equipment we have here. As Mr. Walter said, one of the things we try to do, my goal is to provide our people with the best equipment we can provide them with. So, you know, we want to keep trucks that are serviceable and able to operate. I don't want my people worried about when we pull out the station, is the truck going to break down? When it pulls up in front of your house and you're expecting us to do something and we say, oops, sorry, our truck's kind of old, we're not going to be able to help you today. That's not acceptable to you, it's not acceptable to us. So again, the protective equipment our people wear, we try to buy some of the best that we can buy. And so we care greatly for our people. And the main thing is when we care for them, it enables them to be able to go out and serve you. So again, thank you all for being here. At this time, I think we'll go over in front of the burn building and we'll do the actual cutting of the ribbon.
All right, we're gonna cut on 3. 1, 2, 3.
This is a training tower, but also a burn building. So we have some elevated areas where we can do high angle rope rescue practice. We also can do live burns to practice actual firefighting inside this building. We also can do confined space rescue, which would encounter somebody being below grade or something where we have to do rope work. We have a prop inside the building, allow us to do that. search and rescue. We can smoke up the entire building, reconfigure some rooms and areas in there so our people can get practice searching for people inside a burning house. So we'll just kind of simulate when we're burning. We can kind of, to some degree simulate whether we're looking more at a kitchen type fire, we're looking more of say a laundry room, or maybe a living area, bedroom area, stuff like that.